Hi, my name is Michael Bowen and welcome to my kitchen. You know, last week the fall weather started getting here. We had temps in the 30s at night especially, and when the weather turns cool like that, it means only one thing to me. It's chili time. So I'm going to show you how I make chili today, and hopefully you can use this recipe to make some chili of your own. So the way I start out is I like to use a big pot when I make chili. Make sure it's good and tall, because I learned to cook from old Southern cooks, and old Southern cooks cook for an army just in case one showed up, and I don't know how to cook for just a little bit. So the way I started was with 1 pound of ground beef and about 1 pound of Italian sausage. Actually, it wasn't a full pound of Italian sausage, and I just mixed them up and browned them. I've just browned them already, and so I'm just going to put that in the bottom of the pan there and turn the heat on about medium and let it start warming up. And then we can start adding our ingredients from the cans. I usually buy stewed tomatoes in a can. This is a 28-ounce can, and I'm going to use 2 of them. So I've already opened them with my can opener. I like them big and chunky, instead of all cut up. I'm going to use 2 of those cans, and that forms a really nice base for the chili. And then I'm going to start putting my beans in. Here's the trick. When you're putting beans in the chili, I like to use about 2 to 3 types of white chili beans, and then or white beans, and then about 3 or 4 types of the darker beans, like red kidney beans. This is black beans right here. Huevos rancheros or whatever. So just dump them in, and you notice that I'm not draining these beans. That's one of the secrets to really good chili. Don't drain your beans first, because you get to keep all that nice flavor from the beans. This is some navy beans here, white beans. So I'm not draining any of them. These are some dark red kidney beans. Let me stop for a second to stir. Now keep on adding the beans. Okay, more. These are chili beans. Nice little red looking bean. And here's Great Northerns. These are in all my chilies that I make. And notice I didn't drain one of them, right? Now here's something you won't see many folks do it, but I do it in my chili. I use Bush's baked beans for chili. And this is the onion flavor. It comes in a whole bunch of different flavors. I don't like to use the sweet flavors because I like my chili hot, and the sweet just kind of doesn't go with that. Just all of it in there. Stir it up good. See, this is why I need a big pot. And here's another secret to chili. I use beef broth, and this is just regular beef broth. I think this is Southeastern Grocer. And just pour some in there just to thin it out while it's cooking. And I do that instead of water, because water has 0 flavor, and the beef broth just kind of adds a little bit of flavor to it. Now, here's some onions. I've already cut these up. Now I like chunky onions in my chili, so they're kind of big, but you can cut them up even smaller. Now when I'm doing baking for like Thanksgiving and Christmas, or any kind of big time when I'm making a lot of casseroles, I'll buy those frozen diced onions. And that saves a ton of time when you're making casseroles. Just about every casserole recipe I've ever seen has onions in it. Another thing is bell peppers. I like to use bell peppers in my chili. I just use 2 of them, just cut them up in chunks and put them in there. And here's another thing you don't see many folks doing with chili, and that is mushrooms. These are just regular white mushrooms that I bought in the grocery store, and they were already sliced. So if you buy stuff that's already sliced up, it saves you a lot of work. I'm just going to stir that up real good until we put our mushrooms in. Now, I put the mushrooms in last because as mushrooms cook, they lose a lot of water. So I don't have much water in there now, broth in there now, and the mushrooms are going to add a little bit of water to it, and it's nice mushroom flavored water. So I won't stir those up yet. I'll just let them start to wilt and cook down a little bit. And then here's the spicy part. Actually, I should have put this in before now, but I forgot. And this is just a bag of chili powder. It's got a mix of several different kinds of peppers in it. And like I said, I do like it hot, so I put the whole thing in there. And then I'll just give it a good little stir. So, there we go. And I'll stir that some more when the onions start, the mushrooms and the onions start cooking a little bit, and adding some water to the chili. So that's it for now. And what I'll do is just bring this to a boil, and once it starts boiling, I'll turn it down to low heat and just let it simmer for about 30 minutes, and then you can take it off the heat and serve it. The way I serve my chili is I'll plate it with a plate and a bowl, and put the chili using the ladle into the bowl, and I'll sprinkle it with some grated cheddar cheese and put a dollop of sour cream on top. That's totally optional, but it's really helpful, especially if you have hot ingredients in your chili, like that hot pepper sauce. Also, I had actually bought some fresh jalapeno peppers that were sliced at the grocery store today, but somehow I didn't get home with them. It seems to always happen. There's one item that I just don't get home with, but I would have put that in there, and that would have made it good and spicy too, and a little bit hot. Another thing that I serve with my chili is a good pone of cornbread, and I've got one in the oven now. I've already mixed it up and started baking it. And for me and just Pete, we just have a small pone of cornbread, because if I make anything bigger, it'll mold before we get it all eaten. So that is pretty much how you do the chili. Now what I'm going to do is clean up my mess, and that's something I always do when I'm cooking, is I clean as I go along. And while you're waiting on something to come to a boil, or waiting on something to brown or whatever, it's a good time to clean up the kitchen. And that way you don't have such a mess when you get finished, and you can sit down and enjoy a really good meal. Just giving it a good stir to get all those things mixed up with the chili powder, since I forgot to put it in earlier. But now I'll just let this come to a boil, put my lid on it, and then once it boils for a couple of minutes, I'll turn it down to low. I gotta get my cornbread out. Yep, it's ready. it's boiling now, so almost boiling. So let's let it come to a good boil. Now I'll cut the heat down. Alright, so this has been boiling, and now I'm going to turn down the heat to about low and just let it simmer for a little bit, give it a good stir. And while we're waiting on this to start boiling, my cornbread got done. So here's a pretty pound of cornbread there. That'll be good tonight. And we'll just cover that and let it simmer for a while. Okay, while my chili is simmering, I just want to do a recap of how we did this. Started out with a pound of ground beef and about a pound of Italian sausage. And I like to put Italian sausage in the chili because it spices it up some. Actually, I use Italian sausage in my spaghetti sauce too. And then I added about 3 types of red beans. Well, one was black bean, and a couple of types of white beans. I got navies and northerns, and a packet of the chili sauce. And then I cut up some onion, kind of chunky, but you can cut that as small as you want. Put that in there, and onion is actually optional too. And then I put a bell pepper in there. That's totally optional, up to you. Some people don't like bell peppers, and some folks don't like cooked bell peppers, but I like them both ways. And also some mushrooms. And so it came to a boil, and I'm just going to turn the heat down and let it simmer for a while, cover it up, and made a pound of cornbread that just came out of the oven a few minutes ago. It smells so good. I wish I could just eat a piece now with some slab of butter on it. But anyway, thanks for watching, and look forward to more videos from Covenant as we get the congregation involved in doing some videos and sharing skills and sharing ideas with each other. So have a blessed day. Thank you.